Pro Football Focus rated the best postseason quarterbacks over the last decade. Aaron Rodgers topped the list, followed by last year's Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes, Nick Foles, two-time champion Eli Manning, and Russell Wilson. On that note, we bring in Super Bowl champ Ryan Clark to the debate desk. Ryan, good to have you with us. Marcus, you're up first, though, because you made your own list. Can you please take us through that, sir?
Better be good.
Molly, I lost you for a second.
Okay,
You asked me about
I said,
my top
Marcus,
five?
you came up with your own list. Give it to us.
Yep. Brady, Breeze, Mahomes, Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. Like, of the last decade. And I know it's one name in there that everybody's going to question. It's Patrick Mahomes. But let me tell you this. What he did this year, coming back from those deficits, I got to put up there with some of the greatest performances ever, let alone the last decade. So that's my list. It's not changing. I mean, obviously, Tom should be on there. Breeze should be on there. Aaron Rodgers should be on there for his playoff performances. Russell Wilson almost carrying a team alone to his conference finals. And then Pat Mahomes for what he did, not only this year, but last year. But this year in particular, I'm not even talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the deficits that he had to overcome in order to win a Super Bowl. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is on there.
First of all, I'm going to leave Joe Flacco out of this because Drew Brees has been on powerhouse team year after year recently, and I love me some Drew Brees. I'm not talking against him, and I actually think he's a clutch quarterback. But if he elevated his performance the way some others do, he'd have won more than one Super Bowl. Let's be honest about this. First of all, Eli Manning. Of that whole list, except for Tom Brady, there's only one two-time Super Bowl MVP. That's Eli Manning. When 538 looked into this and said, who's the most clutch postseason quarterback of all time, they found it was Eli Manning by so much it didn't make sense. They're like, no one's that much more clutch than everyone else. So they redid their methodology and did the list again, and this time Eli was still number one, but only a little bit ahead of Joe Montana. Either way, Eli was one. When you talk about what Mahomes just did in the playoffs, and I agree with you, big guy, Mahomes deserves at least strong consideration for that list just based on the last two postseasons alone. Remember when they lost to the Patriots on a pre-snap penalty in a game they would have won when Brady threw an interception to end the AFC Championship game? Mahomes never got to touch the ball in overtime. You know, and therefore didn't win the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. So I'm with you on Mahomes, but brother, do you know what Eli did on the way to the Super Bowl? He beat Tony Romo. Let's just talk about the two Super Bowls. He beat Tony Romo, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, and the undefeated Tom Brady of the greatest team of all time, and then Tom Brady again. Have you lost your mind? Eli Manning has to be on any list, all time, right now, any list of clutch postseason quarterbacks. You can't keep him off.
Hey, Mark, I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead, RC, before I respond.
I hate to go against you here. And listen, I've been on the opposite side of Max probably like the last 3 times I've come on this show. But Max is right. You can't have a list about playoff performances,
Eli?
not overall performances, without Eli Manning on it. I got another one for you. You can't have, we talk about the last decade, you can't have this list and not have Colin Kaepernick on it before you have probably maybe even Drew Brees when you add some of the things from Colin Kaepernick's 2 runs. Patrick Mahomes, to me, is definitely on this list. Tom Brady is a guy who is on this list to me, right? He's number 1. Eli's number 2. Aaron Rodgers is maybe, and he's my favorite quarterback of all time. Aaron Rodgers from a playoff standpoint, when you look at NFC championships, he also might not be on here. Marcus, I don't care. Listen, if you're trying to shoot holes through it, you got a water gun right now. Because you my dog, but this list is not good. It's not a good list.
It's a bazooka. It's coming.
LSU on LSU crime.
It's coming. It's coming.
Tell me.
I don't care what y'all talking about. It's coming. Listen. Go ahead. All right. First, let me deal with the Eli part of this. All right. This is not to talk bad about Eli. Eli made great throws, had some good performances. Eli passed Manningham down the sideline. Eli, whatever the escapability to get out, and David Tyree made an unbelievable play against the Patriots. Eli played well. I'm not knocking Eli Manning at all. But do we forget that Michael Strahan was on that defense, and Justin Tuck, and O.C. Umenyiora, and it was arguably one of the best defenses to ever play. Do we not forget that 17 points won the Super Bowl, and y'all gonna sit here and tell me this damn man had the greatest performances in the playoffs? First of all, stop it. This is my time. It's my time to talk. Because y'all threw Eli Manning out there in comparison to Drew Brees, who has put his team in position to win every single game, and the defense gave up plays.
Okay, Marcus, what happened? What did he do?
It was a
Marcus, what did he do? What did he do after the bad call against Los Angeles? Because remember, they got the ball back. You remember that? What did he do? He threw a pick. That's how they ended up getting the 58.
He threw a pick. Oh, the one bad play out of all of these playoff flubs that the Saints had, you go point at the interception. Oh, not to mention in the game, he had him in position to score had it not been for a referee who was absolutely blind. Next. Kyle Rudolph against the Saints.
Marcus, the last 2 or 3 years, top to bottom, the Saints have had the best overall team in football. No Super Bowl appearances to show for it.
I don't give a damn what they didn't have.
Drew Brees isn't good in the playoffs. But if Drew Brees was Eli Manning in the playoffs, he'd have more than one Super Bowl win.
They had 3 championships.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.